Descending into darkness, exploring the world's deepest cave. The descent into the world's deepest cave was nothing short of surreal. As I stood at the entrance of the Krubera Cave in Georgia, the sheer scale of the abyss before me was both awe-inspiring and intimidating. At nearly 2,200 meters deep, Krubera Cave is a labyrinth of darkness and mystery, and I was about to venture into its depths. Equipped with a headlamp, climbing gear, and a sturdy rope, I joined a team of experienced cavers. The air was cool and damp, carrying the faint echo of dripping water from within the cave. We began our descent, each step carefully calculated as we rappelled down the steep, narrow passages. The sound of our movements was swallowed by the cavernous walls, replaced by an eerie silence that only deepened the further we went. The first few hours of the descent were relatively straightforward. We navigated through tight squeezes and traversed across rocky ledges. The thrill of exploration surged through me, overshadowing any sense of apprehension. The cave's walls glistened with mineral deposits, and the occasional stalactite or stalagmite illuminated by our headlamps added an otherworldly beauty to the surroundings. But as we ventured deeper, the challenges intensified. The passages grew narrower and more treacherous, forcing us to maneuver through a series of vertical drops and precarious ledges. The air became colder and more stagnant, and the darkness was almost palpable. Each step required intense focus and careful coordination. At one point, we reached a vast underground chamber, the size of a football field. It was breathtaking, with towering columns of rock that seemed to touch the ceiling of the cave. The sheer scale of the chamber made us feel insignificant, and the only sound was the distant drips of water echoing off the walls. We paused to rest and take in the majesty of the cavern, but the peaceful moment was short-lived. As we prepared to continue, I noticed a subtle shift in the atmosphere. The air seemed to grow heavier, and an unsettling chill settled over the group. Our guide, an experienced spelunker, warned us that we were entering an uncharted section of the cave. The excitement of discovery was tempered by a growing sense of unease. We pressed on, following a narrow, twisting passage that seemed to go on forever. The cave's floor became uneven, with sudden drops and sharp turns that required careful navigation. The darkness was absolute, with our headlamps barely piercing the void. Every sound seemed amplified, every shadow more menacing. After what felt like hours, we reached a narrow tunnel that our guide identified as a potential route to the cave's deepest point. The tunnel was so tight that we had to crawl on our stomachs, scraping against the cold, rough rock. The claustrophobic passage felt never-ending, and my sense of time became distorted. Each minute felt like an hour as we struggled through the confined space. Finally, we emerged into another large chamber, this one even deeper and more remote than the first. The sense of isolation was overwhelming. We had reached a point where no light from the surface could penetrate, and the only illumination came from our headlamps. The chamber was filled with strange formations and underground lakes, adding to the cavern's mystique. Exhausted but exhilarated, we began our ascent back to the surface. The climb was arduous, with every step requiring as much effort as the descent. The experience had been a test of endurance and mental strength, pushing us to our limits. When we finally emerged from the cave, the sunlight felt like a rebirth. The familiar warmth and brightness were a stark contrast to the cold, oppressive darkness we had left behind. The Krubera Cave had revealed its secrets, but it had also reminded us of its formidable power and the respect it commanded. As I looked back at the cave entrance, I felt a profound sense of accomplishment and awe. Exploring the world's deepest cave had been an unforgettable adventure, a journey into the unknown that had tested my resolve and expanded my understanding of the natural world. The darkness of Krubera Cave was a reminder of the vast, hidden wonders that lie beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered.